Are you any good at FIFA? If so, we got a FIFA 16 tournament coming up. So comment below, message us, tweet us, and you get yourself involved. There'll be prizes, giveaways for the winners, runners up, etc. Hi, I'm Neeks Sports, and I'm here with Tottenham fan Tunde and Chelsea fan Javern, and we're going to be discussing and reviewing the weekend's results. Now, obviously, we started the weekend with Man United against Tottenham, the early kickoff, which finished 1-0 to Manchester United. We had Bournemouth against Aston Villa, which finished 1-0 to Aston Villa. Everton Watford was 2-2. Leicester Sunderland was 4-2. Norwich Crystal Palace finished 3-1 to the away side. Chelsea Swansea 2-2. Newcastle Southampton 2-2. Stoke Liverpool 1-0 to the Reds. Arsenal West Ham 2-0 to the Hammers. And what we just saw, the Monday night kickoff was 3-0 to Man City at West Brom. Starting with you, what do you think was the shock result of the weekend?
The shock result for me was definitely Arsenal and West Ham. Obviously Arsenal had just come off of the back of a win against Chelsea. So
In the Community Shield.
yeah, so I was just feeling, yeah, Arsenal have got this in the bag really. And then I just looked at the result and there it was, 2-0. So I think Arsenal obviously got their priorities wrong and didn't put the right formation out because they're now at the bottom of the league. Well, not now, but they were.
They were bottom of the league.
They were.
Jerome, what do you think was the shock result this weekend?
The same Arsenal and West Ham. Just the week before, I was at the match and Arsenal won it. And I thought, well, they're looking like they're ready to go on for the season. They're talking about how Czech is going to win them these points. And I thought he was going to win them these points, especially from the performance he put in against us, even though it was a bit of a shocking performance anyway. And then we go to the match and then we see that the 2 goals came from 2 Czech errors, even though the defence is to blame. But I think that's probably, like I said, the most shocking result.
Well, staying with you, obviously, Arsenal played on the Sunday. Chelsea had already played on the Saturday, so that was a chance for Arsenal to actually capitalise. But regarding your team, the champions, drawing 2-2 at home to Swansea, surely that's not the result you wanted to start the Premier League season with.
This is another thing. Chelsea's been playing how they've been playing since January last season. Well, that's what I think anyway. And it just looks like they're not bothered. It just looks laboured, and it's just, where is the fight? Where is the will that they had in the beginning of the season last season? And that was a good start. This season, it just looks like they've continued that same form, and it's not going to help. And with the signing of Falcao, I don't see how he's going to help us. I'm like I was saying earlier, I know this is all hoping, but just any good transfer to come in and just lift the team. Maybe
Well, you're buying the left back. I can't remember his full name. But you're buying that left back. Who's replacing Felipe Luis. You've obviously replaced Petr Cech with Begovic, and you replaced Falcao. Also replaced Drogba with Falcao. Do you think you need to strengthen some, because you replaced, the team that you had last year, but it doesn't seem you've made any additions? Do you think that being the champions, you actually need any additions?
Well, at first I thought we don't, but from what I've seen pre-season and the first game of the season, maybe we do, because each year, even though you don't make a signing, even though you may have the strongest team, every team always what's the word I'm looking for? Every team always strengthens, even if it's like a £2 million player, it's still strengthening their team, and it's just like that. They've made a new tactic. You are playing the same formation tactic. Everyone is used to that from last season.
They were the only team in the league this weekend. They played this. They started 11 with no new signings, so that was very shocking, I think.
you just can't do that. Everyone is ready for that. Last season, Swansea knew this team. This season, they had the whole holiday to prepare. Chelsea didn't sign no one. They signed. Look, who scored for them? Ayew. New signing. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Mourinho knows what he's doing. Like, who am I? I don't know what's going on there. But all I know is just anything. A good signing will lift the team. And from how the team plays, it looks like we need a striker. Because when Costa's not out, we seem to struggle. Oh, sorry. When Costa is out, we seem to struggle. So that means we may need to sign another world-class striker, because his hamstring's always going. And it's going to go eventually for good one day, and then where are we going to be stuck? And I'm not really looking forward to that day. So, and Falcao just ain't cutting it.
Well, Javern spoke about, he said that Chelsea's been playing a certain way since January, and I kind of agree, because the first half of the season, they had a last season obviously, flamboyant football, 4 or 5 goals they were popping ahead. Hazard was on form, Fabregas was on form, and then it was that defeat at White Hart Lane where I think Mourinho said, you know what, enough's enough. I'm going back to my way, 1-0, Chelsea, grind it out. And it seems like that slow pedestrian, just do enough to win, they've taken that into the season. But it was that Tottenham result that sparked that. Do you think that Tottenham result is something that your team can actually produce throughout the season? Was it a one-off? Do you have that in your locker that you can actually be a bit more consistent than just a little one-off 5-3 victory against the to-be champions as it was at the time?
Well, it's hard to say, because Tottenham are one of the teams that you just don't know what they can produce. Like, they will come on a day and like that they'll beat Chelsea 5-3, but then next week we'll lose to Stoke 3-0. And then it makes no difference, because we could have beaten Stoke and lost to Chelsea and they'd been in the same place. So I think consistency is definitely a thing that we need to have. But obviously signings need to be brought in, because we started the Man United game with not one striker on the bench. We have Harry Kane, but he's not going to last the whole season. We need another striker. We need midfielders. We need everyone, to be honest.
Well, you sold a lot of your players that you bought to replace Bale a few seasons ago. Kapui, Paulinho,
Stambouli.
Yeah, you've sold a lot of them. Chiriches is gone as well. So
Kabul. Well, he's not winning.
What's the plan in terms of that? What's Levy thinking?
Well, Levy, he tries to do everything in the last minute. He likes to try and get all those last minute deals, but I don't want that, because you get last minute deals, one falls through, and you end up getting this rubbish player from this rubbish team, and I don't want that. I wanted, like, we bought the defenders to get the solid defense, and that was good. We need to continue. We need a striker, we need a winger, and we need a midfielder, centre mid, just to kind of secure up the team.
Well, let's talk about striker Ndai from France. They might be purchasing him, and there's also talk about Berahino. Who would you like to see as an ideal possible replacement for Adebayor and Soldado, or are you hoping to have both of them there as well?
I think Berahino I want him more than Ngui or Ngai, or I think because Tottenham, more often than not, we go to foreign countries to try and get cheaper players, and it doesn't work because they don't know how the Premier League is. So I think we need people that are proven in the Premier League, and obviously they're going to cost more money because they're proven in the Premier League. But obviously that's what you're paying for. You're buying the quality of players that are proven.
That was for someone like Benteke, who has scored in the Premier League. He's a big marquee signing. They know what he can bring. He'd be a perfect replacement for Adebayor. Why didn't he possibly go for something with that a bit too much money, 32 million?
Yeah, I think Levy and Pochettino, they don't want to really spend too much after the Bell saga. So 32.5 million is too much for a striker at this point. And I don't think they're going to be paying for Benteke, especially with their main striker being Kane. I don't think they're going to be paying 32.5 million for a striker that you're essentially having as a backup, or someone that's going to be with them, depending on what the game is. So I think that's why Berahino is a good person to get, because obviously he's worked with Kane. He has pace in a way that Kane doesn't have. So it's kind of a good contrast in style, so that even when you're down, you can bring on Berahino. Eriksen can slip in a ball around the back. which Kane might not get to because he's not as fast. So it'll be nice to have Berahino. Obviously, Benteke scored in pre-season, but he didn't do anything on the first game of the season. And I don't know, Benteke is an enigma, so we'll just have to see what happens with him.
Well, obviously, as Chelsea, quite rightly so, they went into the season as favourites. I'm sure that there'll be a change in the betting, the odds after the first game week. Chelsea drawing obviously at home to Swansea, and Manchester City going to West Brom, which in general isn't a tough place to go, and in general is a tough place to go, and especially with Tony Pulis as manager, you expect them to be tight and solid. But we saw they played West Brom off the park. It looks like Yaya Toure is back to his best. Silva was popping up in and around. Sterling had a couple of chances, and then obviously the main man Aguero came on later, and he looked sharp. Few shots, blocks, saved. As I said, City were my tips for the title at the start of the season. What do you make of City this season? Last year it wasn't a brilliant season in comparison. Pellegrini was under pressure. What do you make of City this season? What are you expecting from them?
Well, with City, it's really hard to say because one injury and City can not perform for 5-6 games. So if all of their players stay fit, all of their vital players, to say Company, Yaya, Silva, and Aguero, if they stay fit throughout the team. Yeah, if they stay fit throughout the season, they are good shouts for the title. But especially defensively, if Company gets injured or even Yaya gets injured, then they'll concede goals. And even teams like West Brom, if they face them again and Company's injured, it might be West Brom winning 3-0. So it's hard to say, but I think they're good shouts for the title if they can keep their players fit.
Yeah, I think the same thing. Man City, from what I've seen on the match, they just played them. It was just what everyone expected from City. Now they've got the addition of Sterling. They now got that pace that might give you an end product, as opposed to when they still have Navas, but as opposed to Navas, he's a winger, but Sterling is more of an attacking winger, which can cut in, shoot, whatever. But now there's reports of De Bruyne. Is it De Bruyne?
Yeah, yep. £47 million bid.
Yeah, for him coming in. So if he's coming in and you got Sterling left, him right, or wherever, Silva in the middle, Company, Toure, all of that, Aguero, then City are definitely going to go for that title. And I think they could possibly win it if we don't, and I say we, Chelsea don't fix up. Can strengthen, but what would that do if we don't fix up? We just maybe if we do sign a player that will give them hope, and then we'll might beat City 2-0 on the weekend. Well, who knows?
Well, that's the thing, because City did play very well, and Chelsea are already behind the 8 ball, and especially going to the Etihad, City with confidence and momentum, and Chelsea a bit shaky. They actually didn't win a pre-season game within 90 minutes. They won a few on penalties. That could be 5-point gap after 2 games. So I think Chelsea need to watch out for that. I'm sure Mourinho will be clear about what needs to be done. I'm sure he's not going to go out there open, attacking. He's going to come out, probably say a point is good and let's go again. So we'll see what happens.